Hello, I'm the Cinema Fanatic, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. Today I'm going to be doing my first top 10. Yes, I am doing a top 10. But what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who. But what about Doctor Who am I going to focus on? Well, there have been so many videos made about this subject because this thing has been on TV since 1963, if you do not count that 15-year hiatus. I have seen countless videos. Top 10 good New Who episodes, top 10 worst New Who episodes, top 10 themes, top 10 doctors. I'm going to be talking about the top 10 dumbest moments in Doctor Who. Not just New Who, not just Old Who, all Who. So let's get started. Number 10. This comes from the serial Warriors from the Deep, in which a female crew member tries to attack the evil Mirka. Okay, what was that? It's obviously supposed to be a karate move, but it almost looks like she's trying to do some weird dance. It doesn't make any bloody sense. Number 9. The Smilers. So basically, in this episode, we find out that London has been moved to outer space, right? Well, anyway, apparently, if you do something that's considered bad, the Smilers send you down to an ominous pit. Now, when I first saw the Smilers, I was like, oh god, those are creepy. I wonder what they're gonna do. What kind of monsters are they gonna be? But then all of a sudden I find out that they are jettisoned in favor of, I can't believe I'm saying this, a giant space whale that has been given a lobotomy. A giant space whale that's been given a lobotomy. What? I mean, that is... wow. Number 8. The Snake Master from Doctor Who the TV movie. I've already talked about this in my review of the Doctor Who movie, but still, this is ridiculous. Did no one look at this and say, he looks like man juice? This just screams inappropriate. And then this scene happens. All I'm saying is that they should have reconsidered and done something else. Number 7. The Doctor as Gollum. Apparently this is what happens if a Time Lord doesn't regenerate. And I don't know why. They don't explain it. I mean, you could say that it makes sense because the Time Lords aren't human, they're aliens, but it just seems kind of dumb. I mean, reviewer Diamanda Hagen has stated maybe it was the Master trying to make the Doctor a harmless monster, but even then that's kind of a stretch. I mean, it really doesn't make any sense in context, which is why I believe they jettisoned this idea for later episodes. Spoiler, in Matt Smith's last episode, he doesn't turn into a Gollum, he just ages like a regular person, which is a lot better than this. On to the next number. Number 6. So this takes place during the story The 10th Planet. The Doctor and his companions have landed in an Antarctic base, and much to the surprise of everyone, a new planet has showed up. The Doctor, seeing this, says that there will be visitors, but then his companion Ben says,
"Visitors? What, here? But who do you think's bringing them? Father Christmas on his sledge?" Oh, quiet.
This doesn't make any sense, because Ben has been with the Doctor for a while, and he has seen that things like time travel can exist. For him to just assume aliens don't exist doesn't make any sense. And I'm not sure if the Doctor has told Ben that he himself is an alien. And if he has, that makes this scene even more dumb. Number 5. This next bit takes place in one of the lost episodes of Doctor Who, The Wheel in Space, and the footage comes from a censored Australian cut of the episode, which is the only surviving footage of this episode. What has happened is that the Cybermen have cybernized some of the humans on this space station, and these cybernized humans are attacking the non-cybernized humans. Well, anyway, a huge fight happens, and then we hear this.
And manly arts me, Bucko!
Well, that ruined the mood. We have a really tense scene, and all of a sudden, "Unmanly, here's me bucko" shows up. That's like if you were watching a Bruce Lee fight scene, and all of a sudden Desi Arnaz shows up and says, "Lucy, I'm home!" It just ruins the moment. Number 4. The "I never would" speech from the Doctor's daughter. Oh, Lord. Modern Who screws up a lot. Okay, so basically in this episode, the Doctor goes on this huge spiel as to how he would never, ever take a life. Which is a complete lie, because if you've ever seen Doctor Who, he does this numerous times. Usually in self-defense. He's killed Cybermen, he's killed Cybermats, he's blown up the Daleks, he's killed a lot. So to say that he never would is a complete and utter falsehood. I mean, you could go and say that it's his new personality, but even his new personality would admit that he has killed people in the past. In fact, there's a bit in a later episode where a man who thinks he's the Doctor kills a Cyberman, and the Doctor looks to him and says, "That's exactly something the Doctor would do." Continuity. These writers don't know what it is. Number 3. John Sim as the Master. Now, I didn't think about this until recently, but yeah, John Sim is not a good Master. The reason being is he's nuts. Now, the Master is this dark, evil individual who sits in the background while others do the dirty work and he plots.
The human body has a basic weakness, one which I shall exploit.
This guy is basically insane. This guy is in-your-face crazy, but not in a way that is scary or threatening. You can't take him seriously. Diamanda Hagen has said that he is a Riddler impersonator. And I agree. This dude would not be out of place in a 1960s Batman episode. They took a dark character and turned him into Frank Gorshin. And I feel bad for the people who have never seen the original Masters. The original Masters were played by Roger Delgado and Anthony Ainley, respectively. Granted, not every incarnation of the Master was the best. In Doctor Who, the TV movie, we got Eric Roberts playing a rather dull version of the Master. And then before John Sim, we got this other actor who at first I thought was Anthony Ainley, but it turns out he wasn't. But he was just as good as Anthony Ainley. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was still a good Master. John Sim is not a good Master. Number 2. The Slitheen. Oh, gosh. I hate the Slitheen. They are the most disgusting looking monster in the history of Doctor Who. And not in the way you think. Most Doctor Who monsters aren't lookers. The Ice Warriors, that giant green blob Tom Baker was talking to, most monsters look ugly. But here's the thing about the Slitheen in comparison to the other monsters. The Slitheen don't look cool. They look like giant boogers with baby heads. And what's even worse is that they fart continuously. Let me explain. When the Slitheen use the skin of a human being as cover, gas emits, causing fart noises, which is stupid. Another thing about the Slitheen is that they're very transparent. They're supposed to be doing an alien invasion, right? but they act like this. Oh, sorry, there's nothing wrong with us. We are perfectly normal human beings. Even weirder is that they have zippers on their heads. I mean, they cover it with a hat, but if they didn't have the hat on, you'd see a zipper. What even pisses me off more is that the Slitheen actually had a pretty good idea of how to invade the human race. Basically, what they do is they fake an alien invasion, and while everyone's watching that, they sneak in and start taking over. Bugger. I hate the Slitheen. And now the number one dumbest Doctor Who moment. Now, this is kind of a cheat, but the dumbest Doctor Who moment is when the BBC decided to start destroying the master tapes. Yes, back in the late 60s, the BBC started destroying Doctor Who episodes. The reason being was because they were running out of space in their archives. Now, back then, videotapes were about the size of a book, about this big, and about this thick, right? So, they obviously didn't have a lot of space. They would erase the tapes and reuse them. But of course they would make copies of the episodes to sell overseas first. And many of the episodes we have found recently have been recordings that were sent overseas for sale. But eventually the BBC started destroying the copies. So many Doctor Who episodes have been lost to time. 97 episodes are missing at this time. 9 were found back in 2013, and we've just discovered another episode of The Underwater Menace. But there are still 90 plus episodes missing. And many of them appear to be really good, such as the 6-part Fury from the Deep, of which we only have 3 minutes of. In this story, the Doctor winds up on a sea fort where he battles evil foam and evil gas, and an evil seaweed monster. Now, at first that kind of sounds stupid, but then you see it and it's like, dang, this actually looks pretty awesome. Plus, it includes this scene. Another story which is lost is the 4-part The Macra Terror, whereas the Doctor and his companions wind up in an Earth colony where they use hypnosis to make people think that they are happy and that there is nothing wrong with the colony. But underneath in the mines of this colony are the evil Macra, giant crab-looking things. The only footage we have of this story is another censored scene from the Australian cuts. Here it is. I really bloody hope they find these episodes. They look awesome. Well, anyway, that was my first top 10. I'm the Cinema Fanatic. I'll see you next time.